Rise up, family. Sister Shanice in the house. How you doing? Certainly hope that you are fine. I hope you have risen in power, risen in strength, and risen to accomplish much today. Yes, you know what time of day it is. From you see me here this time of the evening here in the UKKK, or it might be afternoon if you're in the USA. You know, it is a Wednesday. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sister Shanice. I'm a graduate of Dr. Winters's Africana Phenomenology Research Program. And as a result of that, I've been writing, I've been submitting academic papers. I've been doing some African-centered research into our history. And wow, what a phenomenal history we have. I've been particularly focusing on our hidden history in the UKKK. And I have discovered that we have a history here that goes back at least 44,000 years. Yes, you heard me right. At least 44,000 years. And this history, you know, has either been totally erased, or what they've left of it, the fragments that they've left of it, they've whitewashed and claimed it as their own. And I've been finding the evidence, you know, archaeological evidence, anthropological, genetic evidence, and linguistic evidence, documented evidence as well, and quite a substantial amount of symbolic proof that the history, the ancient history that exists in Britain, is our history, African history. We had a presence here as Africans that goes back tens of thousands of years. Yes, as Africans, we traveled the globe. We jumped on our boats and we sailed the world. And wow, our ancestors were explorers, astronomers, scientists, engineers. The list goes on and on. So I've got a number of books that you can get, and you can dig into those books and find out a ton of information about the hidden history that we actually have as Africans here in Britain. So that's me, author, been writing for many years now. I'm also a presenter on the Big G Galaxy Afewi, which is a community talk show and music radio station. And I have a show on that platform. And so does my special guest today, Brother Leader Bandaka. He also has a show on Galaxy Afewi Radio. Their show is the Al Kabalan Revivalist Movement Show. And so we would love all of you, family, all of you, to be tuning in to our radio shows, as well as obviously to our YouTube channel here. And so as you come through the door and as you join us, please do leave a message in the chat to let us know that you're in the house. Let us know where in the world you're actually viewing us from, because you know how we do. We like to give you shout outs, you know, and let everybody know who's in the house. Okay, let me go over to YouTube right now and grab a copy of the link, because you know how I don't have to post it in the chat to let, well, not this chat, I've posted it on WhatsApp so that everyone's got the link, because with this particular system that I use, the Zoom, I am unable to post a link in advance. And so I have to post it here. So once I've got the link, I'll be posting in the background. If you could do the same to help me out, I would be so, so, so honored. So how has your strong been? Some say weak, we say strong. How has your strong been, family? I hope that you have had a powerful, powerful strong. Drop me a message in the chat. You know, and where are you in the world? Are you in Tanzania, or in Kenya? Are you in Ghana, Nigeria, the Gambia, or the UKKK? Are you watching us from America? If so, where in America are you watching us from? And what's going on in your part of the world as well? Do share with us, okay? would really love to know. So got a really interesting show lined up for you today. I'll be telling you about that in just a moment, as soon as I bring Leader Bandaka to the front. Just giving him 2 minutes around the back to prepare, and he's going to be coming on strong and powerful for you. So let me give you a couple of the titles of some of my books that you can get, family. You can get these books on Amazon. Okay, so I'm just posting here in the background as well. Oh, where's my J gone for that? Okay, sorry about that. Do something else here. So the book, my most recent book, oh my gosh, this book is a blockbuster, even though I do say myself, wow. It's called Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain. And sorry, Hidden in the Shadows of Britain. Still, rewind and come again. Hidden in the shadows of ancient Britain. An erased African history restored. Yes, I've restored the history that they tried to hide from us, family. Many of us have been looking to Africa for our history, and that's where we will certainly find the roots of our history. But from Africa, we branched out, and there are branches of our history here in Britain. And so, you know, we've been doing that digging. And so get a copy of that book, Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, An Erased African History Restored. You can get that from Amazon and get up to date with the history that they have been hiding. It's a compelling book. It's going to completely change your outlook and your perspective of British history. Wow, family. It's huge. And I found so much information. I couldn't even put it all in the first book. So I'm promoting this first book at the moment. And as soon as I finish promoting this first book, I'm going to be moving on to writing the second book, family, because there is just so much history that we've got here in Britain. I mean, how many of you knew, well, you might have known this, but do you know her story? How many of you knew that Scotland was actually named after Queen Scotia? Yeah. And how many of you knew that she was from Egypt? She was the daughter of Necho II, you know, and there's a phenomenal history. She was a warrior queen, a conqueror of Ireland, and her descendants actually ruled Ireland for generations, Ireland and Scotland for generations. She's buried here in the UK as well. And they've removed, you know, her monument that would have stood on her grave. So there is just so much, family, so much history here that we have been denied the knowledge of. But, you know, authors like myself, Dr. Clyde Winters, and others are bringing you the knowledge and information about the British history that they tried to hide. I can see some messages coming in the chat. Absolutely love that. Just doing a little posting, and then I'm going to jump over to the chat. But right now, let's see if our beloved Leader Bandaka is in the house. If so, let's just try to admit him now. Rise up, brother Leader Bandaka. Are you there? Are you ready to join us front of house? We are going to have a really interesting conversation today, family. And if you had joined me 2 strongs ago when we had our Leader Bandaka, there he is. Our Leader Bandaka. Yeah, you see me find my scarf? It looks like it's
yes, my dear sister, I can see that.
Tendai worry.
Garvey lives.
Mosiah lives.
Mosiah lives. He lives.
Hail him, he lives indeed, he lives through us. He was keeping his spirit alive, you know, so we rise up his spirit today. Yes, how are you today, brother Leader Bandaka?
Tendai Mwari, I am richly blessed and I'm giving thanks and praises, my dear sister. I'm full of the joys of Africanness. It is a joy and a blessing to be an African, and a joy and a blessing to be on Sister Shanice's show, ministering to the most important people on the planet, the most beautiful people on the planet, the most powerful people on the planet, and daughters of Africa. So we say, Africa, to the God of Africa be the glory. We say, Kudzai Mudzimu Mokuru, give praise unto our ancestors. Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari, as always, a privilege and an honor. You know, the last time you were on this platform a couple of strongs ago, we were talking about the late, great Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We were looking at some of the images, and as they say, a picture speaks 1,000 words, and there just wasn't enough time. I mean, we could spend a whole year talking about Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and it still wouldn't be enough time for us really to go into, you know, the vastness and the greatness and the magnificence of the man himself. Brother Leader Bandaka, would you like to open today's session by ushering in, you know, the spirits of our ancestors, or should I welcome the audience first and go to the chat?
Tendai Mwari, I am willing to be guided by you, my dear sister. So
let me
with your guidance.
Let me allow you from the outset then, Brother Leader, to open and bring in the spirits of our powerful revolutionary ancestors as well as our most recent ones.
Tendai Mwari. Before I do so, my dear sister, I would like to bring to our conceptual shrine the spirit of a young brother who passed away in our community recently at the young age of 38. Young brother's name is Tyrone Peter Jermaine Harris, and his mother is an avid follower of your show, my dear sister. His mother's name is Sister Sharon, also known as Sharifes. Sister Sharifes. She is an avid follower of your show, and she also
met her recently. I met her recently at an event 2 strongs ago.
Yes.
Wow, she's a beautiful, beautiful sis, and she regularly contributes in the chat. And I think everybody in the chat will know our sister Sharifes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
condolences.
I want to say that we were blessed to have been drafted in to deliver the passing over ceremony and therefore the final rites in laying our young brother, our son, to rest today. So we actually officiated that ceremony today. And I am happy to say that our sister and her family were very pleased with the ceremony. She was quite clear that she wanted a Pan-African, quote unquote, ceremony for send off her son and to celebrate the life of her son. And I want to hail our sister. As you say, she's a beautiful sister with a warm and loving spirit. And she has a lovely family. When I was speaking with her in advance of the ceremony, she made it known that she could not have survived the passing of her son and the pain and the emotional stress and suffering without her king by her side. Her king's name is Brother Naya. So I want to also hail him for standing firm by his king. You know, sometimes our brothers get criticized for not being and not fulfilling our role as men beside our women. And that's why I'm always bigging up Brother Errol, because every time I see you, I see him. And so that even when I don't see him, I know he's there. You'll see him because he's always there by your side. And I honor and I bow before any African man who fulfills his role as, you know, with the family, with his queen, on the family front, in the community, and in the nation. So I want to hail the king who stands by that queen, Sister Sharon, or
Mm.
otherwise known as Sister Sharifes.
Mhm.
And some of her friends say that she has a spirit of Oya, the Orisha Oya, which is a very powerful Orisha, who is the
Mhm.
protectress of Shango. And if you know who Shango is, Shango is the Orisha, or the deity of thunder. So Shango himself is a
Yeah.
powerful,
Yes.
powerful
Yes.
deity. And
Yes.
so if Oya is the protectress of
Mhm.
Shango, then she is
Yeah.
very powerful indeed. She's awesome. And
Yes.
so we know for her sisters, or, you know, for those who know her well, to call her Oya, then
Mhm.
you know that she is a sister with an extraordinarily powerful spirit. So
Yeah.
I want to bring the spirit of her son,
Mhm.
young brother Tyrone. I want to bring the spirit of our sister, her king, brother Naya, and also the spirit. I want to bring Tyrone's father, brother Gordon, to the shrine, his
Mhm.
siblings, and also the son of brother Tyrone, uh, Kobe, young Prince Kobe, who obviously is desperately missing his father, 12 years young. So I did say to my sister that I will make mention to her, and she wanted me to bring greetings to you, my dear sister, and to the listeners to the show this evening. She's really, really deeply appreciative of you and the work that you do for our people. So I just wanted to share that.
Love her so much.
This
We
is
appreciate love her. Oh, what a beautiful, handsome
young
young
man.
man.
I
Taken
know.
so young.
Yes,
Oh,
I know.
what a
So just
lovely young man.
I just
Sad
want to
loss.
hold that for just for a moment, so brothers and sisters
Mhm.
can observe the our young brother and just absorb his image into our thoughts, into our minds, and just bring to the fore a spirit of love,
Mhm.
a spirit of warmth,
Mhm.
a spirit of healing, and to
Mhm.
channel that to his family, who are deeply, deeply distraught at the moment at the loss of their son, their father, their brother, their cousin, their friend. Let us channel our love and our healing meditations. Ashe,
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe. And so we move into our libation. We are going to continue raising the Ashe. Ashe is the life force. Ashe is the
Ashe.
spirit force.
Mhm.
Ashe is the breath of the divine creator of the universe. Ashe is the energy in the wind. Ashe is the energy that moves the waters of the ocean. Ashe is the axis around which the earth revolves, the earth rotates. Ashe is the energy behind the orbiting of the earth around the sun. Ashe is in the rays of the sun. Ashe is in the breath that we consume, the air that we breathe. Ashe,
Ashe.
life force.
Mhm.
We raise the Ashe, the life force, by chanting Ashe.
Mhm.
Ashe. Asheo. Ashe, Ashe, Asheo. We evoke the life force of the universe, the power of being. We evoke the life force of the universe as we raise the spirit of Africa and all things African. We evoke the life force of the universe to empower our entire nation as a people. We evoke the life force of the universe to purify our African souls. We evoke the life force of the universe to bring us healing, where we feel pain, where we experience suffering, where we weep, where we mourn for the loss of a loved one. On this day when we continue to honor the spirit and the legacy of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Let us open our ears, our inner ears. Let's open our hearts. Invoke the spirits of Muzimu Mukuru, our great ancestors, to guide our tongues, to guide our thoughts, so that we receive the word so deeply that it effects the transformation in our thinking and our action that is so desperately needed to bring about the change, to transform African realities around the world so that we can rise from the bottom to the top again. So we can be what we were created to be, the first people of the first land, the custodians of the conscience of humanity. We were given a special task and a special role. We must reclaim our position. We must reclaim our power.
That's right.
Giving thanks and praises, we say, Muzimu Mukuru ye al Kebulan. Muzimu Mukuru ye al Kebulan. Great ancestors of Mama Africa, Uyayi, 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 come and join us. Uyayi tipo yu Masimba, Uyayi tipo yu Kushinga, Uyayi tipo yu Jikumborero, Uyayi, Uyayi, Uyayi. Come and give us your strength. Come and give us your blessing. Come and give us your courage. Come, O great ancestors. Restore to us your vision of human excellence. Restore to us the genius that is in our DNA, the genius that is in the Uchat, created by the creator of the universe, that enable us to advance great civilizations and enhance our humanity to levels yet to be seen again. Shower our sister Shanice with your grace and your blessings. Empower her to continue to do the work. May we all gather around her and strengthen her. May we also strengthen the spirit of her king who stands beside her, Brother Errol. What an icon in our community, reaffirming the balance between African manhood and African womanhood. How beautiful the sight. How glorious the manifestation of harmony between African king and African queen, reclaiming African sovereignty and restoring the beauty and power of Africanness. We give thanks for them. And as we close out our libation, we bring again to the center of our thinking the spirit of our young brother, our young king. Young brother Tyrone Peter Jermaine Harris. We evoke the spirits of Mzima Mukuru, our great ancestors, to gather around our brother. We give thanks for the ceremony today that uplifted so many of our people. So many of them said it. They've never experienced anything like this. It was so beautiful. It was so uplifting. And what were they talking about? They were talking about the Africanness of the ceremony. Some of them said, I have never seen anything like this before. So we give thanks. We ask the ancestors to gather around the soul of our brother and empower him in his ascendancy into their realm, their higher realm. And may he rise like Ra on the wings of Ma'at after a favorable judgment in the council of Asa. Ashe.
Ashe.
Asheo. Amen Ra. It is done. Tendai Mwari. Garvey lives!
Garvey lives!
Garvey lives!
Garvey lives!
Garvey lives!
Garvey lives!
Mosiah lives!
Mosiah lives!
Mosiah lives!
Mosiah lives!
Mosiah lives!
Mosiah lives!
Healing!
Rise, rise, rise. Oh.
Tendai Mwari. Bless you, my dear sister.
Tendai Mwari, you know, our condolences to our beautiful, beautiful sis Sheriffess. And I see in the chat that, you know, a number of the family members are sending their sincere condolences to our beautiful, beautiful sis Sheriffess, a regular contributor in the chat to this show. And we stand with you, sis. We stand with you.
Word sound.
Wow. So thank you for your marvelous works, Brother Leader Bandaka. Thank you. And thanks to Sister Kai as well, your beautiful, beautiful queen, you know, for the works that you do in the community.
I just want
Sister Kai, come and we see you, you beautiful, beautiful sister. I'll show yourself to the family. So we wait for her to come. Hey, look at that queen. Tendai Mwari, sis. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you very much.
And you look good too, my dear. Look at that beautiful picture. So we thank you for all the work.
The love of my life, brothers and sisters. The love of my life, my queen.
Oh, that's beautiful. And we thank you for the works that you do in the background, my sis. You know, contributing to making Leader Bandaka the formidable man that he is in our community. You know? So well done to you and the family.
It's an honor, as always, to serve our people, and it's an honor to be asked to deliver, a brother leader being asked to deliver on Sister Suni's show. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate love that, shall I say. And just big up to the African family. We're just going to grow from strength to strength. Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari. Rise up. Oh, one love, one love. I want to rise up. Sister Teresa in the house. Thank you, sis. She sends her condolences as well. Brother Errol's in the house. Rise up, King. Keep rising. Brother Kwame Oboje. Rise up, beloved Kwame. Rise up, Sister S.A. Smith in the house as well. Thanks for sharing your love. Thanks for sharing your condolences, each and every one of you. We also want to rise up Rise up, Sis V in the house as well, sending her condolences. We want to rise up, Joy Drummond in the house, tuning in from Canada. Oh, lovely to have you in the house as well. We want to rise up, and Tom as well. Brother Kwame, as always, you know, great to have you in the house, rising us all up. Stephen Blackett, good to have you in the house as well. Keep rising, each and every one of you. Let's keep rising together. Brother Leader Bandaka, you know, let's go over to the show today, because I know, as always, it's just not going to be enough time, is it? You know, so we're going to be talking about Marcus Mosiah Garvey again, family, because, you know, this man is so great. He's played such an influential role on our lives. We have to take heed of his warnings. And he said to us, he warned us, he said, liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you will liberate the bodies of men. And he wasn't just talking about, you know, in his time, he was talking to us in our time as well. And that was what's one of the things that's so formidable about Marcus Garvey. He was a prophet. He was talking to us in the future as well. And he understood that, you know, true freedom begins in the mind. And without the mental liberation, and without us breaking the chains of colonialism, racism, capitalism, and anything else that is oppressing us, without us breaking those chains, no matter how invisible they may seem, we will not be truly liberated. So we have to keep revisiting Marcus Mosiah Garvey and studying his work. So tonight, we're going to be spotlighting on the magnificent man himself, Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We're going to also be talking about his legacy and his poignant words he said to us. He warned us. He drummed it into us. Unite, organize now or perish. And, you know, this isn't just within the context of history. It's a call to action today. So, you know, his words are still relevant. His works is still relevant to us as an example of what we need to be doing. We need to be uniting. We need to be organizing. And if we don't, we will perish. Wow, wow, wow. So, you know, Brother Leader Bandaka, so many questions to ask. But, you know, he said to us, unite now, organize now, or perish. Are we on the edge of perishing because we have still yet failed to organize on the scale that we need to and with the urgency that we need to? Brother Leader Bandaka.
Tendai Mwari, Rumbid Zokuna Mwari ye Africa, to the God of Africa be the glory. Kudzai Mudzimumukuru, give praises unto our ancestors. The question you ask, my dear sister, is a critical question. It's in fact an existential question. It's existential because in the very utterance of the command, unite, organize now or perish. What Papa Garvey is saying to us is that if we are not united and organized, we will indeed perish. What Papa Garvey is saying to us, the subtext of that is actually, if we are organized and united, then we will prosper. That's the message. That by uniting and organizing, we will prosper. By not uniting and not organizing, we will perish. He says, if 400 million African people could only get to know themselves, then in the next 24 hours, we would have a new race, a new nation, a new empire resurrected.
Within 24 hours.
That is 24 hours. That is the faith and the confidence that Papa Garvey had in us. What he's saying to us that there is a power in the African that is insurmountable. There is a power in the African that is invincible. There is a power in the African that is indestructible. If only we knew it. He says if black people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves. In other words, we would discover the power of our being. So much so that by unleashing that power, there is no force in the universe that could constructively oppose that power. But we have to be united. We have to be organized. Papa Garvey says the greatest weapon used against the African is the weapon of disorganization. Listen to the words, beloved brothers and sisters. This is the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who is speaking to us. He is the one that the creator of the universe through the spirits of Muzuma Mukuru, all the ancestors who went before him, marshaled his spirit and sent it among us, sent the spirit, that powerful spirit in the person of Marcus Mosiah Garvey to answer our cry, to answer our prayers for liberation, deliverance from the Ma'afa, the destruction of African humanity that we were going through, that we were suffering. And he came and he did a brilliant work. He did an absolutely brilliant work. And I want us to understand, beloved brothers and sisters, the nature of this work, because that is the black print for our liberation. Hear me good. We're familiar with the term blueprint. I'm particularizing this concept. So we don't say blueprint, we say black print, applying exclusively to us and our concerns as African people. And when we say the black print, we are saying that Papa Garvey gave us the template for our liberation. Nowhere else will we find that template. Nowhere else will we find that template that was created out of the condition of our suffering to give us, beloved brothers and sisters, to give us not only the ideas, but the tools to liberate ourselves. And it begins, you know, the black print begins with the man himself. I have a few notes here to sort of guide me along because there's some key points I want to raise.
Yes, of course.
Key points I want to raise. And these days, age has forced me.
We wouldn't know it to look at you.
Oh, my dear sister, you're very kind. But my eyes give me away. So now I need to put some spectacles on to see.
I know that one. It's all right. I should go and get my one too.
For the reading. But when we talk about the black print, and when we talk about this concept of Garveyism, we're talking about the sum total of the manifestation. Hear me good now. The sum total of the manifestation of the man, the vision, the plan. The man, his vision, and his plan. It starts with the man. It starts with the man. And I'm emphasizing that, beloved brothers and sisters, because what we see in Papa Garvey is the black print of the kind of character that we as Africans need to imbibe, to develop, to cultivate in ourselves, to make ourselves not only worthy, but to make ourselves ready for our liberation, to make ourselves conducive to our liberation. Papa, when we talk about the man, we are talking about, as we say, the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah. We'll give him a big title. A big title, no apology. The most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey. One who is eminent is one who is worthy of being praised, one who is worthy of being lifted up and being honored, being venerated. The most, he's not just eminent, he is the most eminent because he did the most in terms of any one man or woman that has graced our history. He has done the most. So he is the most eminent prophet and king. Prophet, he is a visionary. When we talk about prophet, we're talking about a visionary, one who sees beyond the mundane, one who sees beyond obstacles. There are many of us, we have good ideas, we have good intentions, but when we come up against obstacles, we fall down, we become despondent, we lose hope. Yeah, because we may have a hurdle, we may have tripped up on a hurdle and bruised our knees, so to speak. And then we lose our momentum, we lose confidence. Papa Garvey says to us, if you have no confidence in self, then you are twice defeated in the race of life. But with confidence, you have won even before you have started.
Say that again.
With
Confidence.
If you have no confidence in self, you are twice defeated in the race of life. So don't bother. If you don't have the confidence, don't take on the task. Because already you have lost. Why have you lost? Because you have no confidence.
No confidence.
You don't believe in yourself. You don't know who you really are. Because if you knew who you really are, who you really were, Africans, you would have confidence in yourself. If you saw the great and the greatness and the glory of Mzima Mukulu, our great ancestors, you will know that their DNA is in you.
Right.
And all the greatness that we have seen of our ancestors
is in us.
It is in us. And all we have to do is make manifest that greatness. So Papa Garvey is a prophet because he sees beyond the mundane. He has the ability to read the signs of the time and predict the future and do so accurately. He is a visionary, beloved brothers and sisters. And we remind ourselves that his mother had a premonition that she had consumed a child who was going to be an extraordinary human being. This is a fact. And that when he was born, his father held him aloft and proclaimed him, called his name and proclaimed him that he would be like a Moses unto his people. Now that's a biblical reference, referring to Moses leading his people. It's based on a falsification of history, because Moses was supposed to have led his people out, the Israelites out of bondage in Egypt. And that's not historically correct. But it's the symbolism that we're looking at. Moses being a leader of his people, leading his people out of bondage and into liberation. A visionary sees no obstacles. Papa Garvey didn't see obstacles. Papa Garvey didn't see problems. All he saw was solutions. And if he did see problems, he wasn't overrode by it. It just drove him to he had to find a way. We must find a way. With that greater people, there's no problem that can be created in the universe that we cannot solve, that we cannot resolve among us. And Papa Garvey demonstrated that clearly. The man was deeply committed to our total liberation, the total liberation of Africa and African people, totally committed. He was principled, he was proud, he was strong, he was tenacious, he was bold, he was courageous, he was diligent, he was forthright. He was indefatigable. He was indefatigable. He never gave up. He was never fazed by the enormity of the task in front of him. He was a man of integrity. He was he was deeply, deeply he was morally sound, trustworthy, honest, pure of heart, clean of mind. And so we could trust him on every level, brothers and sisters, a man of integrity. He was sacrificial. Nothing was too much for him to sacrifice for his people. He worked 19, 20 hours a day. We learn that he only had 4 or 5 hours sleep a night. Think about it, beloved brothers and sisters. And I want to thank you, Sister Shanice, for inviting me on the show again in the month of Mosiah. You don't know. This is my favorite time of the year.
I know, yes.
My favorite time of the year, because it allows me to delve more deeply into the teachings and the legacy of the most eminent prophet. And I love that man so much. And I want every African, if you don't already love him, when you come across me, when I done, I want to make sure so you love Papa Garvey the way I love him, and even more, if that's possible. Right? If it's possible for you to love Papa Garvey more than I do, please do. Show me how it's possible. I'll be more than happy to follow you. Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari.
Here is words to us. I'm talking about how sacrificial he was. These are Papa Garvey's words. He says, all I have given to you. I have sacrificed my home, my loving wife for you. I have left her penniless and hopeless to face the world because I gave you all. Did you hear those words, beloved? Sorry, I have to read it again. I want you to hear the man and feel the man. Yeah? He says, all, him say, all, you know, everything what I have, right? All of my being, heart, soul, body, all I have given to you. I have sacrificed my home, my loving wife for you. I have left her penniless and hopeless to face the world because I gave it to you. I gave you all. That's the sacrificial nature of the man. And then he goes on to say to us, would I not go to hell 1,000,000 times for you? Would I not walk the earth forever for you? Would I not lose the whole world and eternity for you? These are Papa Garvey's words. Would I not cry forever before the footstool of the Lord omnipotent for you? These are Papa Garvey's words. Would I not die 1,000,000 deaths for you? Think about the power of love that this man is pouring out on us. Have we heard it? Have we felt it? I have. All that he has is pouring it into us, beloved brothers and sisters. Papa Garvey, bear with me a moment, because I want to get his exact words. Now, I know the word sounds pretty well, but I want to make sure I get it accurately. So Papa Garvey also says to us, when he talks about what inspired him to do what he did and to become what he became, he says, so we're still talking about the man. Remember I said Garveyism is the sum total of the manifestation of the man, the vision, and the plan. the sum total of the manifestation of the man, the vision, and the plan. And it starts with the man. What measure of man was this man we called Marcus Mosiah Garvey? We need to know, because we need to be Garvey. We need to imbibe that spirit. We need to cultivate that character in ourselves so we can do what he did. If we don't have the character, we can't do it. So we have to know the character. We have to understand the character. We are all inspired by characters around us. Isn't that right, brothers and sisters? We shape ourselves. Our personalities are shaped on what we see, the human beings we see around us. We copy. That's our nature. That's how we learn. That's how we assume a character. But Papa Garvey says here, he said, I never knew there was so much color prejudice in Jamaica, my native home, until I started the work of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. The daily newspaper wrote me up with big headlines and told of my movement, but nobody wanted to be a Negro. Garvey is crazy. He's lost his head. Is that the use he's going to make of his experience and his intelligence? Then he says, listen to this carefully. I had to decide whether to please my friends and be one of the black whites of Jamaica and be reasonably prosperous, or come out openly and defend and help to improve and protect the integrity of the black millions and suffer. He said, I decided to do the latter. He has a line in Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey where he says, leadership means pain, blood, and death. Leadership means pain, blood, and death. That was his reality as he rose up to lead us, his people. He had to face pain, blood, and death. And even in death, he said, in life or in death, I will continue to serve you. In life, I shall be the same. In death, I shall be a terror to the foes of African liberty. And this was when he was arrested, brothers and sisters, and he was about to be put in prison. And he's saying to you, even if them kill me, my spirit will continue. If death has power, he says, then count on me to be the real Marcus Garvey I would like to be. If I may come in an earthquake or a plague or a pestilence, or as God would have me, then be assured that I would never desert you and make your enemies triumph over you. I'm trying to get you to feel this man, to understand what measure of a man, the man we call Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Let's talk about the vision. The vision. That vision was to liberate 400 million African people. I've already used this quote, I'll use it again. If 400 million Africans could only get to know themselves, then in the next 24 hours, we would have a new race, a new nation, an empire resurrected. That was his vision. That was his obsession, to liberate. And that was 400 million was the estimated amount of Africans on the planet at the time. He was going after 400 million. He was going after every single last African on the planet. That was his vision. We're talking about vision. Do we have a vision today? And if we have a vision, what is that vision? The vision, the establishment of a United States of Africa as a global superpower. That was his vision. To unite all of the nations of Africa into one superpower, into a super state, knowing that that super state, with the brilliance of the African mind, and the abundance of Africa's natural resources, you combine the genius, the natural genius of the African with the endowments of the land, the range of coveted natural resources, that combination would make us a superpower that the world would have to bow and honor and respect and obey. You never hear me. We would be on top of the world, beloved brothers and sisters, and the whole world knows this but ourselves. I believe it was the Chinese that said, there in Africa lies a sleeping giant. When that giant awakes, the world will tremble. There in Africa lies a sleeping giant. When that giant awakes, the world will tremble. Who were they talking about? They were talking about you and me. They were talking about you and me. That's how they saw us, as giants.
Sleeping.
But this giant is sleeping. That's the problem. And they want to keep the giant asleep because they say when that giant awake, all the liberty we take with the giant when the giant asleep. The liberty over, the liberty is up now. We will be trembling because we now have to account to this giant. Oh, brothers and sisters, I'm almost there in terms of the plan, the vision, the plan. We're on the vision. He said, look to Africa. Let Africa be your guiding star, your star of destiny. Don't look to Europe. He didn't say look to Europe. He did not say look to Asia, to Arabia, to China. He didn't say look to Russia. He said look to Africa. Let Africa be your guiding star, your star of destiny. He said, wake up, Ethiopia. Wake up, Africa. Let us work towards a one glorious end of a free, redeemed, and mighty nation. Up, you mighty people, for you can accomplish whatever you will. That's the confidence he had in us. But did we have the confidence in ourselves? Do we have the confidence in ourselves today? Wake up, Ethiopia. Wake up, Africa. Let us work towards the one glorious end of a free, redeemed, and mighty nation. African sovereignty must be restored, is what he's saying. And that has to come from the mind and the heart and the soul of Africans in the present time. He says, I will intend with God's help, with your help and God's grace to continue. For my work has only just begun, and future generations shall have in their hands the guide by which they shall know the sins of the 20th century. This is the guide. Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey, which he asked his wife when he was in prison to assemble his works and his writings and his utterances in book form, so future generations can have in their hands the guide by which they shall know the sins of the 20th century. This is the guide. This is the black print, beloved brothers and sisters. Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. And then he had a course in African philosophy, which he delivered in Canada in 1937, where he got some UNIA leading members to prepare for African leadership. The course of African philosophy, which is a great warrior, scholar, and historian, the man we call the apostle of Garveyism, Baba, the late Baba Professor Tony Martin, edited the courses, 22 lessons in the course of African philosophy. Message to the people. This was his message to African people, beloved brothers and sisters. We call this his last will and testament. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. The vision the vision was couched in 4 ideological principles.
And Brother Leader Bandaka,
Yeah, go ahead.
before we go on to the vision, I just want to check with our family if they've caught the spirit of the man. Because, wow, Brother Leader Bandaka, you delivered that so powerfully. I just wonder if, you know, the family in the chat actually caught that spirit, because, you know, you described the character and the nature of the man. You presented to us some of his speeches, his utterances, and, you know, he said he would go to hell 1,000,000 times for us. Who would even go to hell for somebody once? Or twice? Much less 1,000,000 times. He said he would cry, not for a day, forever. Forever at the footstool, you know, for us. Forever. I mean, wow, this man is his entire life, heart, soul, is being, everything. There was nothing that was more important to him, not even his precious wife. You know, it was more important to him than for his people, and wanting to see his people elevated. He went to prison, he gave up everything. Family, have you caught the spirit of this man? You know, how many leaders do we have today who would stand up and say that they're prepared to go to hell 1,000,000 times for their people? How many leaders do we have today, you know, who are prepared to cry forever for their people? How many leaders do we have? I hope, you know, Brother Leader, let me just ask you a question before you continue, because
please feel free, sis. Please feel free to interrupt.
The spirit. You have the spirit. You know, someone threw you the spirit. Somehow that spirit of Garvey and the need to elevate him, you know, consumes you. You said the month of Mosiah is your favorite month because, you know, you can just revel in his greatness. You know, how do we ensure that our young people, like you did, capture that spirit, that energy, and that desire to want to be like Garvey?
Let me deal with that from a personal standpoint. I've got 4 sons. Between my queen and myself, we have 4 sons. All of them love Papa Garvey. All of them profoundly love Papa Garvey. I'm not saying all of them manifest to the same level. Desire to be Papa Garvey, to be a Papa Garvey, but all of them do manifest to a significant level. Now, you know, Shakara is the eldest among the 4 sons. You know, and the work that he is doing, he is consumed by the spirit of Papa Garvey. And I'm saying that to say that what the answer to the question is that we ourselves must model that for our children. That is the most powerful way that we can transmit the spirit of Papa Garvey. We have to imbibe that spirit ourselves. We have to manifest the spirit, and then the children will also consume what we manifest. They will see and they will hear, and they will be touched by what we do and what we say. And what we do and what we say, if we are touched by the majesty of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, I say the majesty of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the eminence of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, so much so that we reflect that majesty, we reflect that eminence in ourselves, then we will transmit that energy, that spirit, that identity to our children. That's what we need to do. And then we need to build programs where we nurture them directly. So it's one thing that we set the example, that we model, that we manifest. The other thing is that we have to take them through a formal process of nurturing and educating them. We call that the rites of passage program. We have to have the rites of passage program, and we have to reestablish our tradition of rites of passage in our communities. So that would be my short answer to that question. It is possible. But it starts with us. It starts with us, the adults, us, the mature adults. I'm a grandfather now. I'm not just a father. I'm a grandfather. In a few years from now, I could easily become a great grandfather. So I'm in African tradition, that's big things. That's big things, so that that would be my short answer to that question, my dear sister.
Thank you so
please
much.
do
As
feel
parents, we know what we have to do as parents to instill, the man, the character, the nature of Marcus Mosiah Garvey in our children. We have to walk it, talk it, and manifest it ourselves and instill it.
That's right.
Into our children.
And the only way we can do that, sis, is by studying the man, studying his work, studying his works. That's the only way we can do it. And celebrating the man. Come, Mosiah, our vision within the Al-Keblan revivalist movement is that there will come a time when Mosiah will be the month when the African world is consumed by the spirit of Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We're all wearing red, black, and green. We all have on our sash right throughout the month. We're wearing our badges. And we're all, like other groups have their Ramadan, which is how many days, and the Hanukkah, which is how many days, and they take it seriously. If you go in those communities, the whole of that period, the entire focus, the entire community or nation is synchronized.
You could just get one country, first of all, to embrace that.
Absolutely.
Others will follow. Yes.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
And so it starts with, each one of us as an individual. Each one of us. Come, Mosiah, the month of Mosiah. Let's take it on and take it seriously. Let's get a copy, and we are in the process of reprinting our Mosiah Daily Affirmation. This book was edited by the Al-Keblan revivalist movement to guide us through the month of Mosiah.
Right.
So every day we would have, from day 1 to day 31, we have an affirmation that we read. We go before our shrine and we read the affirmation for that day with our family, or if we are at work with our friends, we read the affirmation for the day and we discuss what it means. And there's an accompanying commentary for each affirmation. I have written a commentary to reinforce the meaning of the affirmation. And then we also have an explanation of what the month of Mosiah is and what it means and how we observe Mosiah for the month.
Right.
And then at the back, we have what we call memory verses for our children. We have 31 memory verses. We can't leave the children behind. So each day, the children are to recite and memorize the memory verse for that day. Don't you think that's a good thing? Don't you think that's a powerful thing?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So
and it works, because I remember my mom used to make us do a memory verse from the Bible. And I think for years, right up until good teenage years, I could memorize and I could reel off so many scriptures, verse, chapter, everything. So yes, when we start from when they're young, they will remember. And then, reward them, when they remember.
That's it.
Reward them. They will love
Praise
it.
them, reward them.
Yeah. It'll be a good game.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes. So we heard about the man. Now the vision.
The vision. And we started with the vision by saying that the vision starts with the vision actually starts with the vision of 400 million Africans getting to know themselves. He wanted to liberate. That's the vision. Wanted to liberate 400 million Africans. And then we went on to say that he wanted to establish a United States of Africa as the basis of a global superpower, the number one superpower on the planet. And we went on to emphasize or to repeat his words: look to Africa, let Africa be your guiding star, your star of destiny. Wake up Ethiopia, wake up Africa, let's us work towards that one glorious end of a free, redeemed, and mighty nation. All that is part and parcel of the vision of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey. He said, Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad, meaning we must lay ownership on the African continent. We must claim and reclaim Africa for ourselves as Africans, those at home and those abroad. Yeah, all that was part and parcel of the vision of Papa Garvey. And then I started to talk about the ideological pillars of Garveyism, which are race first, self-reliance, nationhood, and African spiritual orthodoxy. Let me run through them very quickly. Is that okay, my dear sister?
Yes, of course.
Please do feel free to stop me anytime to question.
Well, just to quickly interject there, I was having a conversation on a show last night that I was doing on the Big G Galaxy Alpha about the Jamaican elections that's coming up next Wednesday. The Jamaicans go to the polls, and there are two, major parties. The existing one that's in at the moment, and then there's the opposition. And we were looking at the manifesto, or we were looking at the policies of each of them. And the party that's in at the moment, they were talking about
Jamaica Labour Party.
Yes, Jamaican Labour Party was talking about, them wanting to reduce inflation and implement capitalist policies, and looking at, and they were just totally looking to the West and looking to adhere to all these, fabricated policies that are intended to just keep sucking the money and the lifeblood out of the country. But they couldn't see that it was just, a clever strategy for keeping the countries on a treadmill. And then you have the opposition that was coming in with what seemed to be, some good socialist type policies, talking about creating jobs and opportunities for the people, and how, they were going to legalize ganja so that could create lots of business opportunities for the people. But again, modeling their policies on the West, and how through enterprise and business they have, managed to be successful. And neither of them, as an African country, as Garvey's homeland, neither of them were talking about, looking to Africa, to partner with Africa, to stand as allies with Africa, to implement exchange programs, to develop strategies that was going to be of mutual benefit to both countries. It's as if they just don't realize and recognize the riches and the potential of Africa, and in that small country of Jamaica, I don't think there's a piece of land left that they haven't used for agriculture. We could expand the agricultural skills, onto the African continent, and there's so much we could do in partnership with our African brothers and sisters, but neither of those parties in the 21st century yet seem to recognize the riches and the benefits of us standing with our brothers and sisters on the continent. And Garvey was speaking it, and Garvey was showing them the way. Garvey himself, a Jamaican, yet Jamaica is still looking to the West. So we have a long way to go, it seems. Jamaica, who should be spearheading, the unification of us as Africa between the continent and Jamaica itself.
Jamaica, where Papa Garvey was born.
Right.
Where Papa Garvey's mind, soul, and spirit was cultivated.
Yes.
That is Jamaica. But let me just say this very quickly in relation to Jamaica. Interesting, you should bring that up at this juncture when we're talking about Papa Garvey, the man and his vision.
Yes.
And you talk about the political parties of Jamaica, the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, JLP and PNP. it's important that we understand that these two parties were created in Jamaica precisely for the purpose of obliterating the legacy of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey, and averting the impact of Papa Garvey. Remember, Papa Garvey was deported to Jamaica in 1927. And he lived in Jamaica between 1927 and 1935. He left Jamaica a broken man. Yeah. And he said he would never return to that country. When I say a broken man, not that he had lost hope, but the pressure that they heaped upon him. He was imprisoned twice. They harassed and harangued him for years in Jamaica. Now remember, when he came to Jamaica, thousands of people came out on the streets to greet him. There was a massive parade. Jamaica had the likes that Jamaica had never seen. They said even when so-called royalty, that are the white people and from Britain, even when they visited Jamaica, they never get nothing like what Papa Garvey get when he returned to Jamaica. Right? The people them lift him up off of the ground and didn't even want him to walk. Right? That's how powerfully he was received. And by 1929, he founded the first political party in Jamaica, the People's Political Party. The first political party in Jamaica was founded by Papa Garvey in 1929. As I said, Papa Garvey left Jamaica in 1935. By 1938, the plantocracy, which is the white planters of Jamaica, the white holders of land in Jamaica, established the Jamaica Labour Party. That's when it was established. Sorry, the People's National Party. Sorry, the People's National Party was established first in 1938. PNP. Now look at how close that is to PPP. People's Political Party, People's National Party. They wanted it semantically to be as close to the Jamaica, to People's Political Party. So people would think that it somehow ideologically and philosophically related to Papa Garvey's People's Political Party. Then in 1944, there was a breakaway from the People's National Party to form the Jamaica Labour Party. Both were led by two, if them not white, them near white. Norman Washington Manley, PNP, and Alexander Clark, who then renamed himself Bustamante, Alexander Bustamante. Yeah? And those two are cousins. Those two are cousins. And they descend from the white plantocracy in Jamaica. So it was a political system that was established to defend and protect white plantocracy while selling us the hoax that we are somehow enfranchising, politically enfranchising the people of Jamaica. Yeah? And I'll be happy to do at some point a show specifically on this. But let me make one more point in relation to this, because it's relevant to the legacy of Papa Garvey. Because as I said, and I can demonstrate it in more detail when we come to do that show, and I'll be happy to do it. I can demonstrate in detail, beyond the question of a doubt, that the political system that we see in Jamaica today was established initially to avert the powerful rising effect that Garvey and Garveyism was having on the people of Jamaica. Even when Papa Garvey left Jamaica, his spirit was embedded in the people. The people were calling his name and calling his name and calling his name, like the people of Burkina Faso calling the name Sankara, Sankara, Sankara. When they overthrew Blaise Compaoré, they were chanting Sankara, Sankara, Sankara. Same thing was happening in Jamaica. The one more point I want to make is the real political party of Jamaica is not JLP and PNP. The real political party of Jamaica is the PSOJ, which is the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica. Look it up. The Private Sector Organization of Jamaica. That organization is a continuation of the white plantocracy. And they've bought out Jamaican politics and Jamaican political party. They fund the political parties of Jamaica. And they run, absolutely. Absolutely. And they are there to sell out the people of Jamaica, right? They are not essentially not African. Yeah, they may have a few stool pigeon puppets operating amongst them, but they are essentially non-Africans. Yeah, the PSOJ, the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, was established in 1976. Yeah, so let me leave it there. And when you're ready, my dear sister, we can do a show on this particular subject. Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari, thank you for that.
Should I continue?
Yes, please. Yes, the vision of the great man. Yes,
the vision. So we're dealing with the vision. So
yes, we see the obstacles and the hurdles that were put in the way.
Yeah. So we were on to the ideological pillars. Remember, I said there are 4 ideological pillars of Garvey and Garveyism. Race first, self-reliance, nationhood, and African spiritual orthodoxy. Race first, self-reliance, nationhood, and African spiritual orthodoxy. Now, we in the Al-Keblan Revivalist movement have an acronym to reinforce the meaning of race first, which is racial awareness and cultural emancipation first before all other considerations. Papa Garvey says, in a world of wolves, one should go armed, and the most powerful defensive weapon within the reach of African people, he says within the reach of the Negro, but we say within the reach of African people, is the practice of race first in all parts of the world. Papa Garvey says we must put our race first like all other races do. Papa Garvey wants us to understand that race is primary to our oppression as a people. We are oppressed first and foremost as African people. We are oppressed because we are Africans, not because we are poor or not because we come from this class or that class. And I'm not here to say that class analysis is irrelevant and has no place in the liberation, in the ideological understanding of our people's suffering, our people's oppression. I'm not saying that it would be foolish for us to say that class analysis has no place. I'm not here to say that. I'm a nationalist primarily. I'm a race first, Garveyite, nationalist, Pan-Africanist first and foremost. But for our brothers and sisters who follow the ideology of socialism, which I do not, there are some value in the class analysis that they bring to the table. Yeah. But what we are arguing is that race is primary. We are primary, and Papa Garvey tells us that we are primarily oppressed because of our race. Papa Garvey says he made it clear that the first aim of the UNIA had its aims and objectives, and the first of the aims and objectives was to establish a universal confraternity among the race, a universal confraternity amongst the race. So to organize the entire African race around the world into one confraternity, one fraternity. That was the aim. So that we think as one, we live as one, we work as one people with one God. In fact, the main slogan of the organization was one God, one aim, one destiny. One God, one aim, one destiny. So that's race first. Yeah.
Yes.
Papa Garvey told us to take down the picture of the white Jesus off our walls. Take down the picture of white so-called royalty, King George VI and Queen Elizabeth and Queen Mary and all them foo-foo people. Take them off our wall. Yeah. Papa Garvey taught us to stop giving our children white dolls. If we give our children white dolls, Papa Garvey said they will desire to be white. They will desire to serve whiteness. Papa Garvey says, and then he commissioned, this is the power of the man, then he commissioned his artists and craft people to make dolls, to make black dolls for black children, black girls in particular, so they can look at black dolls and see the beauty in blackness and comb the black doll's hair and nurture that black doll, which is like nurturing your own self. It's appreciating your own identity. This is powerful psychology, right? So understand this, brothers and sisters. We're still on the vision. So I've touched a little bit on the plan, but let me come back to the vision. The vision and the second pillar of the vision is self-reliance, economic self-reliance and empowerment by owning and controlling all of the means of production, which is land, that is our material resources, the means of production, land, labor, capital, enterprise. When we talk about land, we're talking about material resources. When we talk about labor, we're talking about human resources, which includes our ingenuity, not just our labor, not just our muscles, but our ingenuity, enough of which we have. Capital relates to money and technology. Enterprise relates to business, industry, from the primary through secondary, through tertiary, through quaternary. 1, 2, 3, 4 stages of industry. Primary is to do with the acquisition of raw material. It has to do with mining and agriculture. Secondary is to do with manufacturing. Yeah. The tertiary industry is to do with wholesale and retail. And quaternary is to do with exchange of knowledge and technology and information technology, etc., etc. And what Papa Garvey demonstrated is and when we talk about self-reliance, and we must understand when we talk about economics, I hear a lot of discussions on economics, and all we talk about is money and investing money. And economics does not begin with money and investing money. That's not economics. That's just money. We're just talking money. Now, money is a part of economics in this reality. I'm not saying it isn't, and I'm not saying it's not important, but the fundamentals of economics is how a people organize their human and natural resources towards their own human and natural resources towards the production, exchange, and distribution of goods and services. So the issue of ownership of land is crucial. We must talk about how we own land so we have access, free access to natural resources, material resources. Then we must talk about labor, how we own our labor. We don't own our labor because we don't own ourselves. We don't own ourselves because we don't own our minds. Minds create. Papa Garvey said, and as much as we desire in nature, we can have through through the creation of our minds, but we have to liberate our minds. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. Papa Garvey said that those words didn't come from Bob Marley. It came from Papa Garvey, and Bob Marley put it in a song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, Papa Garvey said. For although others can free the body, none but ourselves can free our minds. So we have to own our minds again, so we can own our ingenuity, we can own our labor, we can own our scientific and technological skills, and all of that can be channeled towards our own empowerment, our own liberation, and the protection of African sovereignty and the promotion of African sovereignty. That's what economic self-reliance means. Then in that context, we will control money. In that context, beloved brothers and sisters, then we will have the control over money that we want. Money is a medium of exchange and a unit of measurement. Money is used to measure wealth. It's not wealth itself. It's a unit of measurement, like you use a yardstick or a tape measure to measure length. Yeah? Or you use
scales.
Yeah, you use scales then to measure weight, right? You use money to measure wealth, or you use money as a medium of exchange of goods and services. But money in itself is not wealth. It can enable you to access wealth. But if you have land and natural resources, and you have control over your own mind and your own ingenuity and your own labor, and you're laboring for yourself and for your people, you will generate wealth. Whether money is a part of that system or not, you will control the wealth. There's a difference. Sis, you stop me when you're ready, because
it's all good.
You know me, I'll just go on. And this is Garvey we're talking about. And Garvey is him. Right? So we're not going to stop for stop.
Yeah, I mean, there's just other stories that come to mind. And race first is so, so important. And having integrity as well as a race is critical. I came across a story just today. Apparently Japan, I haven't verified it, but there's a few sources that are talking about Japan's birth rate declining so much that they have identified 4 regions in Japan that they want to encourage Black people to go there and live. So they're still so racist. They don't want the integration of us as Africans with their people. They want to designate and pigeonhole Black people in these specific regions, and then just use those Africans as slave labor, modern laborers, modern day slave laborers, to maintain their economies and their systems and their institutions, because the birth rate is falling so much. They fear that, in a couple of generations, they're basically going to be fizzling out and reducing their numbers significantly. There's more Japanese dying than there is being born at an alarming scale. And I say, leave them. Let nature take its course. And when nature finish with them, we just take the whole of Japan rather than the 4 regions. But if we go there and prop them up, as our people tend to do, sadly, but if we had race pride, if we had integrity as a people, we would not allow ourselves to be used. We would not allow ourselves to be abused. We would not allow ourselves to go to a country knowing that the people there don't like us, don't want us to mix with them, and we shouldn't be mixing anyway. But that they think so lowly of us that they think that to mix with us is denigrating their race. Why? Should we as Africans, if we've got racial pride, even consider going to the aid and the assistance of those sorts of people with that sort of mindset? So, we really do need to have racial pride. We need to have racial integrity. We need to have the confidence in self that we've been talking about you know, and to realize that, you know, we are great beyond measure. And
Absolutely.
nature is on our side,
Oh,
doing its works. And we should allow Mama Nature to do her works and stop, you
Say
know.
that again, sis. Nature is on our side. Nature actually selected us to be the first. Nature selected us to be the most endowed with natural resources and the wisdom to transform those natural resources into wealth, real wealth. Nature selected us for that purpose. Sorry, sis, I just thought I had to. You said that so beautifully, but we couldn't just run past it, so.
No, thank you. That's the point I just wanted to make. Thank you for that. Let me just pop over to the chat for a moment and see what we've got going on over there. We've been joined by more members of our community. We've got Brother Mandela in the house. Good to see you in the house. We've got IC3 in the house. Welcome. Great to see you in the house. It's been a little while. We've got Brother Kwame Oboje busily writing in the house. Thank you so much. None but ourselves can free our minds. Indeed,
Hail, Brother Kwame. Hail, Brother Kwame.
Hey,
Brother Kwame.
Rise up, Brother Kwame. We've got Brother Kwame Ossie in the house, as well as Brother Kwame Oboje. Rise up, Brother Kwame Ossie as well. He said it's true about Japan. Japan was once African, indeed. You know, and then what we do is we go in and we mix, you know, with the minorities, and we empower them, we give them life, and they know this. That's why they're calling us back, to give them back life, because, you know, like nature, you know, we reproduce, you know, that's why we're targeted. We reproduce, and they know that we are the ones that bring life into the world. Rise up, Brother Kwame Osei. I know you're well researched, so thank you so much for that. Mondele, it says Marcus Garvey's star in the heaven appeared in the same year, 1887, as King Bongo in Congo. Oh, right. Kimbangu in Congo. Thank you so much for that. Carry on, please, Leader Bandaka. I'll come back to the chat in a little while.
Okay, Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari. I hope I haven't thrown you off course too much.
No, not at all, sis. Please, as I said, do feel free. This is interactive as far as I am concerned. You know, yes, I do have a few points that I want to raise and emphasize, but please, sis, whenever you feel like interrupting, please.
Thank you so much.
Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari.
Papa Garvey says, now remember, we're looking at the pillars of Marcus Garvey: race first, self-reliance. We finished race first, we're on to self-reliance. And we were talking about economic we emphasize economic self-reliance and the need for us to empower ourselves by owning and controlling all of the means of production. Remember that term, means of production: land, labor, capital, and enterprise. That's what we need to talk about when we're talking about economics, and not just money. Yeah, money comes under the category of capital. But before we come to capital, we have to master ownership and control of land and labor. Tendai Mwari. Garvey says, accept the individual, and this is the economics. This is a source of empowerment, human empowerment, the control of our economics. Papa Garvey says, except the individual, the nation, the race has power that is exclusive. That individual, nation, or race will be bound by others who possess these great qualifications. He says the African must get power of every kind, power in industry, power in education, power in science, power in politics, power in higher government. That kind of power that will stand out so that other races and nations will see, if not feel. If we have control of our own economics, brothers and sisters, then we can generate the power to promote, protect, and preserve our own interest. We can promote, protect, and preserve our own interests. So that's economic self-reliance. I'm going to move on quickly now to nationhood. So we've dealt with race first, self-reliance. These are the pillars of Garveyism. Race first, self-reliance, and we're going on now to nationhood. We're still on the vision. We're on the man. We're doing the vision. Nationhood. Papa Garvey says, when Papa Garvey talks about nationhood, he's talking about nation building, building communities and institutions, which is the basis of nationhood. A people organized and a nation is a people organized as a sovereign entity, drawing on their own resources and agency. That's what we mean by a nation, a people organized as a sovereign entity. When you are sovereign, when you are sovereign, you have supreme authority. When you are sovereign, you are your own master. You answer to no one. You mentioned Jamaica just now and Jamaican politics and Jamaica. The whole thing is boring and nauseating as far as I'm concerned and inconsequential. But understand this. The Jamaican government is not the government of the Jamaican people. The Jamaican government it used to be Her Majesty's government. It is now His Majesty's government. Who is His Majesty? Charles III. Same government. Jamaica's opposition party, we're talking about election coming up. Jamaica's opposition party is His Majesty's opposition.
Right.
Right? So, anyway, we're going to talk about Jamaica one day. I won't even go into no what details. We're going to talk about Jamaica one day.
We'll have a show specifically, just definitely.
We'll talk about the ridiculous political system that we have in Jamaica and why it is completely inconsequential when we're talking about the empowerment and liberation of our people. But anyway, so we're talking about nationhood. Papa Garvey says no race is free until it has a nation of its own system of government and its own order of society. He says never give up this idea. Never be satisfied to always live under the government of other people, because you will always be at their mercy. And be clear, when we say the government of other people, I've just demonstrated. If you look in the Jamaican political system, you would think that we have a government of our people in Jamaica. We do not have a government of our people. I've just demonstrated that. Because the government belongs to the King of England. It's his government. Yeah? So that's not sovereignty. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
No, it's this demonocracy. It's one of the biggest deceptions that they've sold to Africa and the Caribbean.
Absolutely.
And, you know, you've just hit the nail on the head by telling us, if we didn't know and if we thought differently, that those governments don't belong to the people. Those governments belong to the Crown, and they're there to serve the interests of the Crown and the private sector. This is why, you know, we as the people, wherever we are so oppressed, because, you know, our governments are not serving our interests. They're not sovereign nations. They're not independent nations at all, you know, and we need to realize this and get behind, you know, a PPP party in every African nation. There should be a PPP party, a people's political party, the party that the people get behind.
Absolutely.
Wow, wouldn't it be awesome if Ibrahim Traore tomorrow decided to establish the PPP party and encourage all other African countries to set up a PPP party and we, the people, vote them in? Wow, what a new day. Then we would be, you know, making major strides towards realizing the vision and the dream of Marcus Mosiah Garvey.
And of course, what that would do is reinforce the black print. I want us to remember that term, beloved brothers and sisters, the black print, the template that Papa Garvey has given us for our liberation. There's a manifesto. Papa Garvey had drafted a manifesto for the PPP. Let's look at that manifesto. because that manifesto should be our guide. And in fact,
I'm sure it's as relevant today as it was back then as well, just like his vision is,
absolutely,
that you're sharing with us.
And the UNIAACL also gave us a constitution, right? Constitution, and it was drafted in a little book, and I'm proud to say I have a copy. I have a copy of that book. This is the Constitution of the UNIAACL. Yeah. So it gave us a constitution for global governance, right? Now we are faced with globalization, where the European world is establishing a system of global governance, a one world government. Papa Garvey already had a vision of one world government for Africa and African people. See, long before them talk about one world government, we had a visionary who gave us a black print, drafted a constitution for one world government for African people. This is why we need to study Marcus Garvey, study the program of Papa Garvey, study the man, the vision, and the plan, because that is the black print for our liberation. So Papa Garvey, we go on, we're still on, no, we're going to move from nationhood now to African spiritual orthodoxy, and I'll be very quick on that, and then I'll go very quickly into the plan, because I can see that it's
time is running and passing, as it always does.
And I do want to say something on the plan, yeah? But let me say very quickly that Papa Garvey, when we talk about African spiritual orthodoxy, Papa Garvey wanted us to see the Creator in our own image, and advancing an African-centered liberation theology and spiritual consciousness. This is what Papa Garvey said to us: if the white man has the ideal of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. If the yellow man's God is of his race, let him worship his God as he sees fit. The God of Isaac, the God of Abraham, let him exist for the race who believe in the God of Isaac and the God of Abraham. We believe in the God of Ethiopia, the everlasting God. That is the God in whom we believe, and we shall worship that God. We shall worship him, he says, through the spectacles of Ethiopia. Now remember, Ethiopia those days was referring to the entire African continent. It wasn't just referring to where we call Ethiopia today. That was called Abyssinia. Papa Garvey, when he spoke about Ethiopia, when he says, wake up Ethiopia, wake up Africa, he's using interchangeably the two names for the African continent. Yes? So when you hear me say, Rumbidzo Kunamwari Africa, to the God of Africa be the glory, that's inspired by Papa Garvey. Yes? He says, we believe in the God of Ethiopia. In other words, we believe in the God of Africa. That is the God in whom we believe, and we shall worship him through the spectacles of Ethiopia. The spectacles of Ethiopia means through our own culture, means through our own uchat, our own inner eye, the all-seeing eye, otherwise misnomer the third eye. We say it's not the third eye, it's the first eye, scientifically or biologically known as the pineal gland. Yeah, so it's nurturing that pineal gland, nurturing that with the consciousness, or instilling in that pineal gland the consciousness of African divinity, because that African divinity is what determines our sense of ourselves and our own identity. When we understand that we are an extension of that divinity, and we're not cursed as the Abrahamic religions would have us believe, that our blackness is a curse.
We got 5 more minutes. Yeah, time is passing.
So let me just say something very quickly on the plan, right? Yes, the man, the vision, the plan. The plan is steeped in the program of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. The slogan, unite, organize now or perish. One God, one aim, one destiny, was constantly reinforced by Papa Garvey and the UNIA. The plan was to have an international movement. The plan manifested in an international movement of 11 to 13 million, over 1,000 branches around the world, in over 40 countries and in each continent on the planet. That's how the plan manifested. The plan politically was a provisional government with a constitution, a national anthem, and a flag. We had a constitution with a national anthem, and we had a flag. Economically, we had the Negro Factories Corporation, with shops and stores and restaurants and laundries and millinery printing press, doll factory, garment manufacturing. Remember last time, sis, we were looking at the Universal African Legion, which was a paramilitary of the UNIA, and the Universal Motor Corps, which is a female paramilitary. And we were highlighted that all of those uniforms were made in the UNIA.
Yes.
All of the Black Cross nurses' garments were made in the UNIA. All the beautiful big hats, the overwhelming majority of them were made in the UNIA because they had a millenary, right? They owned land. They had agricultural programs going in the UNIA. They owned land. They owned property, and it goes on and on and on. And the plan was to control our economics, control the means of production, and therefore all of the stages of industry, from the primary to the secondary to the tertiary. Those days, they didn't talk about quaternary. That's new. That's fairly new, that concept of the fourth industry. Yeah. But that was the plan, to at least control from the primary to the tertiary industry. Give me just 2 more minutes, my dear sister. Health and social welfare was the program of the Black Cross nurses. They even had funeral plans. The UNIA conducted their own funerals. I told you today we had what we call passing over ceremony of Sister Sharon's son. That was officiated by the Al-Qaeda Revivalist movement. We don't have to go to their church and their Christian this and their Islam that. We don't have to do that. We have our own African spiritual cultural traditions that we can draw upon. But that was the program of the UNIA. They had a defense and security program. We've already talked about the Universal African Legion and the Universal Motor Corps. They had an education program as well. They had a Liberty University and a Booker T. Washington School. And that was, the intention was to develop that to the level where at least every member of the UNIA ACL would be sending their children to these schools and universities. But think about it, that they dared to establish something called the Liberty University. Think about that for a moment. That the UNIA had a university called Liberty University. Think about it. They had media and propaganda program, the Negro World, for example, that published 200,000 copies per week. 200,000 copies per week. That's nearly 1 million copies per month. And that went around the world. It was later on the Blackman newspaper. And the UNIA had other means of propagandizing its message. It had a spiritual element in the African Orthodox Church, which was led by Bishop Maguire, who was quite a radical thinking clergy. And it also had an international trade and communication program, which was generated through the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation. That is a study in itself. The UNIA at one stage had owned 4 ships, and they were on the verge of purchasing another. In fact, they'd paid £20,000 down on their 4th ship, which was going to be named the SS Phyllis Wheatley. And that ship, that particular ship, was for the purpose of establishing commercial and trade and commercial and social connection and intercourse between Africans in America, Africans in the Caribbean, and Africans on the African continent.
Wow, what a vision, what a plan. And the time is never enough.
Yeah, I was gonna stop it there, sis. But you know, there's so much more. But I thought that was a good note to stop on.
Yeah.
That the UNIA ACL was in the process of purchasing a ship, and I paid $20,000 down on the ship that they were going to call the SS Phyllis Wheatley.
Right.
That was
imagine how much that was worth today.
That ship was specifically to connect us with the African continent.
Wow.
Tendai Mwari.
Tendai Mwari, brother leader Bandaka. Wow. As always, you know, you deliver such an impactful, you know, presentation to us. And it was more than that. You ushered in the spirit of Marcus Mosiah Garvey today. To everybody in the chat who has been following us, who have been communicating with each other in the chat, we thank you so much. I see we have the Jamaica drunk line at the O's tonight as well. Rise up, it's been a little while, beloved. Good to see you in the house. And, you know, the conversations have been happening, have been taking place. So Mondele says 200,000, 200,000 copies a week. Serious organization, unrivaled to date in the melanated world. How long and how low have we sung? Wow. Brother Kwame Aboje says, yes, the Negro world was written in English, French, and Spanish. You know, light years ahead of itself. Rise up, Sister Teresa. She says, I've gained so much knowledge about Marcus Garvey. Asante Sana. Thank you so much, sis, for tuning in as well. First times in the house says spiritual consent and accountabilities. Responsibilities are related to our situation. Sister Shanice and guests and the chat and family. Good to have you in the house first time as well. Rise up, Brother Kwame Oboje, out of the UNIA and the ACL movement for Black Crosses. Yes, don't forget the Black Cross nurses to the Negro world. Kwame, you're saying the United States of Africa. Garvey talked about global African unity long before the OAU and African Union. Such was Garvey's vision and foresight. For real, before the European Union, you know, they've implemented their vision, his vision for unity, and we are yet to do so. To everybody in the house, we thank you so much for following us tonight. The Jamaica Janko said, none of the political parties in Jamaica talk about Black Jamaicans taking control of the local and national economy of Jamaica. There we have it. Because the powers that be already have that control and they want to keep it that way. And yes, Brother Kwame, he's talking about the Notting Hill Carnival and the exploits there of our people. Yes.
That's another subject for another time, honestly.
Most definitely. Seek ye first, says the Jamaican Bronco, the independence, the first economic independence, and all else shall be added unto you. I love the spin on that. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your wonderful words of wisdom in the chat today. Brother Leader Bandaka, as always, we are just so grateful to you for taking the time to bring yourself, your knowledge and your wisdom to share with the family. And family, as we walk through the brilliance today of Marcus Mosiah Garvey as delivered by our beloved leader Bandaka tonight. You know, what a presentation. We revisited the character of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, the black print, his words, his vision, his fire hopefully was felt throughout that presentation tonight, and how Garvey is still speaking to us today with urgency, with the need for us to wake up as a people. You know, Garvey needs to be taught to all of our children, the leaders of tomorrow, even the leaders of today need to get hold of his black print and run with it. He told us liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you will liberate the bodies of men. And so this is what Garvey's works does. It actually liberates, our mind and makes it clear, where we should be focusing our energy as a people. And he warned us, he said, unite now, organize now, or perish. And so we can either organize and come together and organize, otherwise continue to perish as a people. The choice is ours. Our priority has to be independence, total independence, unity, self-reliance, or divided we fall and others continue to exploit us. So tonight's presentation, family, it was not just about celebrating Marcus Mosiah Garvey, even though that's what we were doing, but it's about reminding us of his legacy, reminding us of his vision, and reminding us that we have got to be living Garvey, living him in our homes, living him in our communities, living him in our movements and in our nations. Wow, wow, wow. Family, as we close out today, let's unite. Let's do the works that needs to be done as a people. One aim. Yes, leader.
Yeah, just in closing, just want to bring to the fore of our thinking again, Sister Sharifas and her family. And in the words of Papa Garvey, I always close with these words, but just before I say those words, I want to say some other words of Papa Garvey. Chance has never yet satisfied the hope of a suffering people. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self and the future has been the only way by which the oppressed has realized the light of their own freedom. Chance has never yet satisfied the hope. It has to be action based on self-reliance, the vision of self and the future. I want those words to burn in our psyche, because this is about how we take forward the legacy of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey, how we imbibe his spirit and manifest his character so that we can fulfill his work. I close, as I always do, with the words of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey, which we gave as a title of our discussion this evening: unite, organize now, or perish. Rise, you mighty African people, for you can accomplish whatever you will. Rumbidzokuna mwarie Africa, to the God of Africa be the glory. Kudzai mudzimomokoro, give praises unto our great ancestors. Tendai Mari.
Tendai Mari. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Unite now, people. Unite now or perish. So one people, one aim, one destiny. Until next time, family. Next strong. Join us same time next strong. Stay strong. Stay united, stay conscious, and stay Pan-African. More love. Sister Shanice out of here for now. Bye for now. Thank you again, Leader Van Daka and family.